Good day, and welcome to the Government House Weekly Press Briefing for the week of March 27th, 2023. I am Government House Communications Director Richard Mota for the benefit of the radio listening audience. Joining me this afternoon for the latest COVID-19 data and information on where Virgin Islanders can get a COVID test, vaccine, and booster this week is Health Commissioner Justa Tita Encarnacion. But before we go to Commissioner Encarnacion, I begin this week's briefing on a somber note with two statements of condolence from Governor Bryan to the loved ones of two beloved and well-respected members of the Virgin Islands community. The first being a former St. Croix Senator and Hovenza executive, Mr. Alexander Moorhead III. Upon learning of Mr. Moorhead's passing late Friday evening, Governor Bryan issued a statement offering his condolences to Mr. Moorhead's family, friends, and colleagues, which reads, quote, "Alex was iconic in stature and grace. I always looked up to him as a young Virgin Islander working in the refinery. At his age, I understand he was at the table to make pathways and represent us when few could. I will miss him, and the Virgin Islands surely will. Yolanda and I express our most heartfelt condolences to his family and all in the community mourning his passing," unquote. The governor also expressed his deepest condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of VIPD Sergeant Rolando Huertas, who was also a well-loved and respected officer within the Virgin Islands Police Department. Governor Bryan, in a statement issued early Monday morning, noted, quote, "Sergeant Huertas represented the best among our law enforcement professionals in the territory and in his more than 2 decades of service, helped train and inspire those officers, but coming up behind him to uphold the same values and principles that define his invaluable service to our community. But outside of Sergeant Huertas' service, he was a loving husband, father, and brother. There are no words that can underscore the value of Sergeant Huertas' contributions through his service, and I know that no words can console his loved ones as they mourn his untimely passing. My heart goes out to his entire family circle, the VIPD family, and all in the community who are mourning his passing," unquote. At this time, I'll turn over the briefing to Health Commissioner Justa Encarnacion. Commissioner.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I too want to share my condolences to the family of Mr. Alexander Moorhead, as well as Mr. Fuentes and his family. I just heard of Mr. Moorhead, but Fuentes I know I heard yesterday, and I know that is very difficult time for each and every one of you, so I too share my condolences. Thank you, Director Mota, for the opportunity to update the public once again on COVID-19 issues, as well as other issues surrounding the Department of Health. We are pleased to report that our COVID positive rate is 2.1%, and hospitalization remain low. Today, we have a total of 17 active cases territory-wide, 11 on St. Thomas, 4 on St. Croix, 2 on St. John, and our hospitalizations territory-wide total 2. There is 0 hospitalization at Wang F. Louis Hospital Medical Center on St. Croix, and 2 non-vented hospitalization at Shandor Reader Medical Center on St. Thomas. Please remember that we are now issuing COVID-19 report weekly, which will be posted at the Department of Health's website, doh.vi.gov, and our Facebook page at Virgin Islands DOH. As we head into the Easter camping season and Carnival, we want everyone to be mindful that COVID is still with us, and along with the flu virus, you have to be very careful. Make protecting yourselves and your family part of a planning for these activities. Continue to wash your hands often, use hand sanitizers, and feel comfortable wearing a mask, especially if you have a compromised immune system. And as I always remind you, when you're traveling and your family traveling, give them a reminder, wear your mask while you're on the airplane. Getting boosted. If you have not gotten your bivalent vaccine, you are not fully protected against the latest COVID-19 variants. The bivalent vaccine is still the best protection from COVID-19, and everyone, even ages 6 months and above can become vaccinated and boosted. Vaccines remain available on St. Croix from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday at the Department of Health Clinic located on the second floor of the Casa Coakley Unit 5, number 35, known as the Old Caribe Home Center Building. No appointments necessary. On St. Thomas, for adults, vaccinations are available from 9 a.m. to noon, Monday to Thursday, at the Community Health Clinic located at the Schneider Regional Medical Center. For the flu vaccine, call 340-774-7477 to make an appointment. For children, vaccinations are available at the Maternal Child Health Clinic, and you can call 340-777-8804, extension 2600. Make an appointment. On St. John, vaccinations are available on Wednesdays in the VI Port Authority gravel lot between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Testing. If you're experiencing COVID-like symptoms, please get tested. If you tested negative on a home test kit and continue to feel sick, seek a confirmation test at a local provider or laboratory. Anyone testing positive upon confirmation at a provider or laboratory qualifies for antiviral medication that can lessen the severity of the illness, possibly shorten in duration, and avert hospitalization. And one of the things that we're speaking about is long COVID. It can actually decrease the possibility of you acquiring long COVID. The VI Department of Health is working to resume free COVID testing as soon as possible. The public will be notified once the COVID testing drive-through and COVID hotline has been reestablished. The latest news on our Charles Howard project, the demolition permit. In other news, the Department of Health has received a permit to proceed with the demolition of the Charles Howard Memorial Complex, bringing us one step closer to the construction of a new state-of-the-art facility. Within the next 2 weeks, we will hold a press conference with more details about the demolition and what the community needs to know. Last week, Deputy Commissioner Renan Steele, Director Chatelle Noel, and I attended a mental health summit in D.C. We were able to meet face-to-face and speak to Miriam Delphine Rittman, who is the Assistant Secretary for Mental Health and Substance Use. We continue our work with behavioral health challenges within the territory and continue to come up with creative means of ensuring that we provide access to care throughout our islands. Next week, April 3rd through 9th, the Department of Health will celebrate National Public Health Week when we focus on public health and how we can make a difference. The theme this year is Centering and Celebrating Cultures in Health, and is about making cultural connections to support a healthier, safer, and stronger community. I always say public health is all about prevention. As part of our celebration, the Department of Health will hold community outreach events that include health screening, health education, and family-centered fun activities. Look out for more details later in this week. We're actually working on some good, exciting stuff, so I'm really eager to be able to share that with you later on. Thank you, Director Mota, and I really appreciate the time to speak to you. Enjoy your day, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Encarnacion, for those updates. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. is in Taiwan this week by invitation of the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs to further advance the USVI Taiwan Economic and Cultural Affairs relations created in 2018 post-hurricanes Irma and Maria. The governor was initially scheduled to visit Taiwan in 2020, but those plans were disrupted by the global COVID-19 pandemic. While in Taiwan, Governor Bryan will meet with high-level Taiwanese government officials and key private sector stakeholders to create strategic collaborative partnerships and attract businesses between the United States, Virgin Islands, and Taiwan. A key highlight of the governor's visit is the planned opening and establishment of the first Invest USVI Trade and Investments Office in Taiwan to attract foreign direct investment, otherwise known as FDIs, into the USVI from Taiwan and the Asia-Pacific region. The largest USVI office, the Invest USVI office, rather, will operate as a public-private partnership unit for the U.S. Virgin Islands government and private sectors. In the spirit of collaboration, the Taiwanese government will be providing subsidies to help and support the Invest USVI Trade and Investments Office operation in Taipei, which is the capital of Taiwan. While in Taiwan, Governor Bryan and members of the USVI public and private sectors will also be attending the 2023 Smart City Summit and Expo that is being held there this week. In other news, the Office of Management and Budget has secured, as we had mentioned last week and the week prior. If your name is on the list distributed in the Virgin Islands Daily News, please send your full name, the last 4 digits of your social security number, and a complete mailing address as soon as possible to ssi@omb.vi.gov. Again, that email address is ssi@omb.vi.gov. Information should be sent by Friday, April 7th, 2023. If you do not have access to email, please get in touch with your respective administrator's office to provide that required information prior to that Friday, April 7th deadline. The number to the St. Croix Administrator's Office is area code 340-773-1404. Again, the number to the St. Croix Administrator's Office is 340-773-1404. The number to the St. John Administrator's Office is 340-776-6484. Again, that number to the St. John Administrator's Office is 340-776-6484. And last but certainly not least, the number to the St. Thomas Water Island Administrator's Office is 340-693-4350. Again, that number for the St. Thomas Water Island Administrator is 340-693-4350. If you submit the information electronically, please do not contact the Administrator's Office. Information not received by the deadline, unfortunately, will result in the checks expiring and being returned to the Department of Finance. So please make sure you get, if your name is on that list, that means you're eligible, and a check for whatever reason was not able, the Office of Management and Department of Finance for many different reasons was unable to get that check to you. And so if your name is on that list, you have a check there. So make sure that you get that information to the respective administrators' offices or to that email address prior to Friday, April 7th, so that you can get your Social Security stipend. In closing this afternoon, do not forget to tune into this week's Administrator's Corner on 107.9 FM, The Vibe, on Wednesday, March 29th at 9 a.m., where you can get the latest information from all 3 island administrators on projects and government-led initiatives in the community, and also to engage with your respective island administrators on community-related issues of importance to you. That concludes our briefing this afternoon. I see that we have Suzanne Ellis from the Virgin Islands Source joining us virtually. So Suzanne, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Richard, and good afternoon. Can you hear
Suzanne,
me?
we can't hear you. I don't know if it's on your end or our end. See if you're on mute. All right, we got you. Good afternoon.
There you go. Good afternoon. Just one for the commissioner, and it's about the treatment for COVID. Is that at no cost to the patient, or is there a cost for that treatment?
There's no cost. None.
There's no cost.
No cost.
Great. Thank you.
We'll also continue to provide the vaccine at no cost.
Oh, okay. Good. That's all I know.
Thank you for that question, Suzanne. We don't have any other media joining us this afternoon, and so that concludes this afternoon's briefing, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you.